Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 7, Knowledge of the Absolute. Whether it is your next holiday destination, the choice of university for your studies, or the restaurant for next week's birthday party, most things in life require some research. While we may value our gut feelings, we simultaneously utilize our intelligence and exercise discrimination. The same goes for spirituality. It is not simply a sentimental impulse or practice. It requires intelligent research and information gathering. It is an affair of the head and the heart. Einstein once stated that religion without philosophy was simply sentiment, and in more accurate situations, downright fanaticism. In Chapter 7, entitled Knowledge of the Absolute, Krishna delineates certain philosophical truths to instill confidence and conviction in the process of Bhakti Yoga. The acronym is HEAD. H for hearing, E for everywhere, A for accept or reject, D for demigods. H for hearing, verses 1 to 3. Modern thinkers often posit a notion of proving everything empirically, rejecting anything which cannot be directly perceived by our senses. While this may seem a logical, objective, and rational approach, it does have inherent limitations. How do you understand those things beyond your immediate perception? For example, if you wanted to find out what BBC One was showing tonight, the most obvious approach would be to consult a TV guide. You could subsequently verify by actually watching the programs. In other words, we can't depend on our sensory experience to provide all the answers. Accepting a higher authority opens up new opportunities to experience the truth directly. Krishna begins this chapter by stressing the absolute necessity of hearing from spiritual sources to understand universal realities. This is known as the descending path of knowledge. E for everywhere, verses 4 to 12. By hearing from authorized spiritual sources, one can acquire profound knowledge of the divine. In answer to the common challenge, "Can you show me God?" Krishna cites the analogy of pearls strung on a thread. The pearls are perfectly strung and arranged as a necklace, while the thread remains completely invisible. Similarly, God designs, creates, and sustains the entire universe, yet remains invisible to the immature observer. The extreme intricacy and sophistication of the creation, however, naturally indicates the presence of higher intelligence. Krishna further explains how he is the essence of everything within the creation: the taste of water, the light of the sun, the ability in man. In this way, through the eyes of knowledge, one can learn to see God everywhere. A for accept or reject, verses 13 to 19. If God can be perceived everywhere and his existence is so strikingly obvious, why is there still wholesale denial of him? Resisting forceful compliance, Krishna endows each individual with the free will to fly their own plane and decide where to repose their faith. He describes the 4 types of people who reject God due to their preoccupation in worldly life, and the 4 types of people who do accept God, albeit with different degrees of selfish intent. In conclusion, it is a rare soul in this world who is able to approach God free of ulterior motives and enter into a selfless relationship of love. That level of spiritual purity, Krishna says, may take thousands of births. D for demigods, verses 20 to 30. Practically speaking, even a mere acceptance of God is a propitious achievement in this age. The acceptance, however, is not enough. One must gain an accurate and precise understanding. If you were to be operated on, you would insist the surgeon be well versed in the details and intricacies of the process. It is, after all, a matter of life and death. Similarly, to simply believe in God is not enough. One must understand his nature and personality. Towards the end of the chapter, Krishna establishes monotheism and distinguishes demigods as powerful entities in charge of universal affairs who are in no way, shape, or form equal to God. Such dangerous misconceptions are cleared up as they have the potential to impede the spirit of pure devotion.